You ever notice how quick we are to judge someone? Like, you see a guy in worn-out shoes, a faded jacket, maybe pushing a mop down a hallway, and you think you've got him all figured out. That's exactly where this story starts, and trust me, it's gonna take you places you didn't see coming. Picture this, a high school buzzing with drama, where popularity is currency, and one cocky teen thinks he's got the world on a leash. He spots the janitor, old shoes, quiet demeanor, easy target, and decides to make him the punchline. But here's the kicker. What if that janitor isn't who he seems? What if the principal steps in with a bombshell that flips the whole story upside down? You're here for answers, aren't you? You want to know who this janitor really is, and I promise you, by the end of this video you'll get it. But you've got to stick with me, because this isn't just a story. It's a roller coaster of emotions, lessons, and a twist that'll leave your jaw on the floor. So grab your snacks, hit that like button, and let's dive into this together because I'm talking directly to you, and I know you're not going to click away until you know the truth. Let's set the scene. It's a crisp fall morning at Lincoln High, a typical American high school in a small town where everyone knows everyone's business. The hallways are alive with a chaos of teenagers, lockers slamming, sneakers squeaking, and the hum of gossip that never seems to quit. You've been there, right? That feeling of walking through those halls, trying to figure out where you fit in, who's watching, and what it takes to be seen. It's a pressure cooker, and for our main character, Jake, it's his kingdom. Jake's the kind of kid who struts like he owns the place. Varsity jacket, perfect hair, and a smirk that says he's untouchable. He's got the charm, the followers, and a knack for making people laugh, even if it's at someone else's expense. You probably knew a Jake in school, or maybe you were him, or maybe you were the one he overlooked. Either way, you're gonna feel something when you hear what he does. Jake's got his eyes on the janitor, Mr. Ellis, a guy who's been at Lincoln High forever. Mr. Ellis is quiet, keeps to himself, and wears these old, scuffed-up shoes that look like they've seen better days. To Jake, those shoes are a neon sign screaming loser, and he can't resist turning it into a spectacle. One day, in front of his crew, Jake points, laughs, and makes a cruel joke that echoes through the cafeteria. The crowd eats it up, phones come out, and suddenly, Mr. Ellis is the star of a viral moment nobody asked for. You're probably cringing right now, thinking about how fast a moment like that can spiral. But here's where it gets juicy. The principal, Dr. Harper, catches wind of it, and she's not having it. She calls Jake to her office, and what she says next changes everything. You're dying to know what it is, aren't you? Don't worry, I'm gonna get you there, but let's slow down and really feel this story, because it's not just about a prank. It's about truth, redemption, and the secrets we never see coming. Now, let's talk about you for a second. Yeah, you, watching this video right now. I bet you've had moments where you judged someone too quick, or maybe you were on the receiving end of it. It stings, doesn't it? That's why this story matters. It's not just some random high school drama. It's a mirror, reflecting the way we treat each other, the assumptions we make, and the surprises that make us rethink everything. When Jake laughs at Mr. Ellis, it's not just about a pair of old shoes. It's about power, about who gets to decide what's cool, and about the ripple effect of one careless moment. You're probably wondering, okay, but who is Mr. Ellis? Why does the principal care so much? I see you, trying to piece it together, and I love that you're hooked. That's why I'm asking you to stay with me, to keep watching, because this story is built for you. Someone who loves a good twist, who wants to feel something real, and who's ready to see a cocky kid get schooled in the best way possible. Mr. Ellis isn't just a janitor, and Dr. Harper's got a reason for stepping in that's bigger than school rules. You're gonna meet these characters like they're your neighbors, and you're gonna care about what happens to them. Jake's not just a jerk. He's a kid wrestling with his own insecurities, trying to stay on top in a world that's quick to tear you down. Mr. Ellis? He's got a story that's been buried under those old shoes, and when it comes out, it's gonna hit you like a freight train. And Dr. Harper? She's the one holding the key to this mystery, and she's not playing games. You're invested now, I can tell. You're picturing that cafeteria, hearing the laughter, feeling the tension in that principal's office. Good. That's exactly where I want you, because this is where it gets wild. Let's talk about why this story feels so personal. YouTube's buzzing with trends right now. Drama, redemption, viral moments, and stories that make you think twice. You searched for something like this, didn't you? Maybe you typed in teen drama, shocking twist, or school story, and here you are. That's no accident. You're here because you love stories that pull you in, make you laugh, maybe make you tear up, and definitely make you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. This story's got all of that, wrapped in a package that feels like it could happen at your high school, or maybe it already did. The themes here, judgment, kindness, and the power of a single choice, are universal. You've seen it in real life. Someone gets humiliated, and the crowd either joins in or stays silent. But what happens when the tables turn? What happens when the person you thought was nobody turns out to be somebody? That's the heart of this story, and it's why you're not going to click away. I'm talking to you like a friend, because that's what this channel is about. Real stories, real emotions, and real connections. You're not just a viewer, you're part of this. You're the one who's going to gasp when the principal drops her bombshell, and you're the one who's going to feel that rush when Jake learns his lesson. So, let's keep going together. Let's walk through Lincoln High, past the lockers, through the cafeteria, and into that principal's office where everything changes. You ready? Because I'm not letting you go until you know the truth about Mr. Ellis. Here's where it gets intense. Jake's sitting in Dr. Harper's office, expecting a slap on the wrist, maybe a detention or two. He's still got that smirk, thinking he's going to charm his way out of it. But Dr. Harper's not in the mood for games. She leans forward, her eyes locked on his, and says something that makes his stomach drop. It's not just about the prank, it's about who Mr. Ellis really is. You're probably screaming at the screen right now. Tell me already. I get it, I do. But if I spill it now, you'd miss the magic of watching it unfold. This story's like your favorite binge-worthy show. You don't skip to the finale, do you? You savor every episode, every clue, every moment that builds to the big reveal. That's what I'm giving you here, a front row seat to a story that's trending for a reason. It's got everything YouTube loves: high school drama, a viral moment, a redemption arc, and a twist that's gonna rack up views like crazy. You're not just watching this, you're living it with Jake, with Mr. Ellis, with every kid in that cafeteria who thought they knew the score. And the best part? You're gonna get answers. I'm not one of those channels that teases you and leaves you hanging. You stick with me, and I'll deliver the truth about those old shoes, the janitor, and the principal's game-changing move. But right now, at this very moment, Jake's world is about to crack open, and you're right there with him, wondering what Dr. Harper knows that's so big it could unravel everything. So, don't you dare click away, because what she says next is going to change the way you see everyone in this story. You're still here, aren't you? I knew you wouldn't click away, not when Jake's sitting in that principal's office, his smirk fading as Dr. Harper's words hang in the air like a storm cloud ready to burst. You can feel it, that electric tension, the kind that makes you lean closer to the screen, wondering what's coming next. You're dying to know who Mr. Ellis really is, and why this moment feels so much bigger than a stupid prank. Good, because I'm not letting you off the hook yet. Let's pull back the curtain just a little, peel back the layers of Jake's world, and figure out how he ended up in this mess. But don't expect all the answers right away. This story is like a puzzle, and every piece you get makes you hungrier for the next one. We're diving into Jake's life, his friends, his enemies, and the whispers circling Lincoln High that might just hint at what's really going on. You're with me, right? You're part of this now, and I'm talking straight to you, because this high school drama's got more twists than a viral TikTok trend, and you're not going to want to miss a single second of it. Let's rewind a bit and get to know Jake better, because this kid's not just some random jerk who decided to pick on a janitor for no reason. Jake's the star quarterback, the guy whose name's on every pep rally poster, the one who's got half the school following his every move on social media. He's been riding high this semester, especially after throwing the game-winning touchdown in the homecoming game last month. You know the type, golden boy, always got a crowd around him, always got something clever to say. But lately, things haven't been as perfect as they seem. Jake's been acting out, pushing boundaries, like he's trying to prove something. Maybe it's the pressure of keeping up his image, or maybe it's the whispers about his grades slipping, threatening his spot on the team. His best friend, Tyler, has been distant, too, ever since Jake started hanging with a new crowd, a group of seniors who are all about clout and chaos. These guys are the ones egging Jake on, hyping him up to pull stunts like the one in the cafeteria. Tyler tried to warn him, you know. Just a week ago, in the locker room, Tyler pulled Jake aside and said, "Man, you're playing with fire." But Jake just laughed it off, said he was untouchable. You're probably thinking Tyler's got a point, but could he know something more? Is he just looking out for his friend? Or is there a reason he's so nervous about Jake's antics? You're starting to wonder, and that's exactly where I want you, questioning everything, because at Lincoln High, nothing's as simple as it looks. Now, let's talk about the cafeteria incident, because that's the spark that lit this whole fire. It wasn't just a random moment. Jake had been building up to it. Over the past few weeks, he'd been pulling small pranks, testing how far he could go. First, it was sneaking into the gym to mess with the coach's whiteboard. Then it was borrowing a teacher's projector for a meme-filled slideshow during study hall. Each time, the laughs got louder. The likes on his posts piled up, and Jake felt like a king. But there was always someone watching, someone who didn't laugh. Mr. Ellis, the janitor, was always there in the background, sweeping up the messes, never saying a word. Jake noticed him, sure, but only as a prop, someone to mock for views. Those old shoes, that faded jacket, they were perfect for a quick jab, something to make the crowd roar. But here's where it gets weird. A few kids swear they've seen Mr. Ellis lingering near the principal's office, talking to Dr. Harper in hushed tones, like they're sharing secrets. And then there's the rumor about a strange phone call Dr. Harper got right after the cafeteria stunt, one that made her march straight to the security office to check the cameras. You're probably thinking, okay, what's the deal with Mr. Ellis? Is he connected to the principal somehow? Hold that thought, because there's another player in this game, Sarah, the quiet girl who works in the school office. She's been acting strange, too, always scribbling in a notebook, always watching Jake from a distance. Could she know something about Mr. Ellis? Or is she just another red herring, distracting you from the real truth? You're hooked now, aren't you? You're trying to piece it together, and I love that you're this invested. Let's stir the pot a little more, because Lincoln High's got secrets crawling out of every locker. There's a story floating around, one that's been whispered in the halls for years, about a former teacher who left under mysterious circumstances. Some say he was fired, others say he quit, but everyone agrees he was close to Dr. Harper back in the day. Nobody knows where he went, but the timing's suspicious, right around when Mr. Ellis started working at the school. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe not. Then there's the fact that Jake's new crew, those clout-chasing seniors, have been weirdly obsessed with the janitor, too. One of them, a kid named Marcus, keeps dropping cryptic comments about knowing the real story behind Mr. Ellis. Marcus is the kind of guy who loves stirring up drama, always posting vague captions on his stories, like he's got dirt on everyone. You're probably wondering if Marcus is just bluffing for attention, or if he's got a piece of this puzzle. And what about Dr. Harper? She's not your typical principal. She's tough, sure, but there's a warmth to her, like she's carrying a burden she doesn't talk about. The way she looked at Jake in that office, it wasn't just anger, it was disappointment, maybe even sadness. You can feel the weight of it, can't you? Like there's history here, something personal tying her to Mr. Ellis, something that made her react so strongly to Jake's prank. You're itching to know more, and I'm right there with you, guiding you through this maze of high school drama, viral moments, and shocking twists that's blowing up YouTube's trending page. Here's where the tension really ramps up. Jake's still in that office, and Dr. Harper's not letting him off easy. She's pacing now, her voice low but sharp, like she's holding back a flood. She mentions something about respect, about consequences, but it's what she doesn't say that's got Jake sweating. She keeps glancing at a framed photo on her desk, one nobody's ever really noticed before, a picture of her with someone who looks vaguely familiar, though Jake can't place it. Your mind's racing, isn't it? You're thinking about Mr. Ellis, about that old teacher, about Sarah's notebook and Marcus's cryptic posts. You're wondering if Tyler's warnings were more than just friendly advice, or if Sarah's hiding something in those pages she guards so closely. Every clue's pulling you deeper, and you're loving it, because this is the kind of story that keeps you up at night, replaying every detail, searching for the truth. You're not just watching a video. You're living this mystery, feeling the buzz of Lincoln High, hearing the whispers in the halls. And right now, as Jake's world starts to crumble, Dr. Harper drops a single sentence that makes his heart stop, a sentence that hints at Mr. Ellis's true identity without giving it away. You want to know what she said, don't you? You're practically yelling at the screen, begging for the reveal. But I'm not going to spoil it yet. You've got to keep watching because the next piece of this puzzle is going to blow your mind, and I'm not letting you miss it. You're still with me, aren't you? I can feel you leaning into this story, your curiosity burning as Jake sits frozen in Dr. Harper's office, her cryptic words about Mr. Ellis echoing in his head. You're dying to know what she said, what secret she's dangling just out of reach, and I love that you're this hooked. This is the kind of high school drama that's blowing up YouTube, packed with viral moments, shocking twists, and that addictive pull of a mystery you can't stop thinking about. But just when you think Jake's about to get answers, the ground shifts under him, and new obstacles pile up like a plot twist in your favorite Netflix series. We're diving deeper into the chaos of Lincoln High, where every step Jake takes toward the truth seems to pull him into a thicker web of secrets, betrayals, and warnings that make you question everyone. I'm talking straight to you because you're not just watching, you're right there in the halls with Jake, feeling the weight of this mystery, and I'm not letting you click away until we unravel the next layer together. Jake's head is spinning as he leaves Dr. Harper's office, her words, a vague hint about Mr. Ellis being more than he seems, ringing in his ears like a riddle he can't crack. He's not the golden boy quarterback right now. He's just a kid who's in over his head, and you can probably relate to that feeling of realizing you've bitten off more than you can chew. He wants to know who Mr. Ellis is, not just to save face after the cafeteria stunt, but because something about Dr. Harper's tone made it personal, like this isn't just about a prank anymore. So, Jake does what any teenager would do. He starts digging. He heads to the school library during lunch, figuring he'll check old yearbooks for clues about Mr. Ellis or that mysterious teacher everyone whispers about. But here's the first roadblock. The yearbooks from 10 years ago, the ones that might hold answers, are gone. Not checked out, not misplaced, gone, like someone ripped them out of existence. The librarian, Mrs. Conway, shrugs it off, saying they must have been lost in the move to the new library last year, but there's a flicker in her eyes, a nervousness that makes you wonder if she's covering for someone. You're probably thinking, okay, who took those yearbooks? And why? That's the question gnawing at Jake, too, and it's the kind of mystery that makes you scroll through YouTube for trending drama, searching for stories that keep you guessing. Jake's not giving up, but this missing evidence feels like a warning, a sign that someone doesn't want him, or you getting too close to the truth. Things get murkier when Jake tries to talk to Tyler, his best friend, hoping for some backup. Tyler's been weird lately, ever since Jake started running with Marcus and that clout-chasing crew, and now he's practically a ghost. Jake corners him by the vending machines after school, asking if he's heard anything about Mr. Ellis or the missing yearbooks. Tyler's cagey, his eyes darting like he's scared of being overheard, and then he says something that sends a chill down Jake's spine. Dude, you need to drop this. You don't know what you're messing with. Drop it? After Dr. Harper's cryptic warning and the vanishing yearbooks? No way. Jake presses him, but Tyler clams up, muttering something about not wanting to get involved before walking away. You can feel the betrayal, can't you? That sting when someone you trust starts acting like a stranger. Tyler's always been Jake's rock, the guy who'd have his back no matter what. So why is he running scared now? Is he hiding something about Mr. Ellis? Or is he just spooked by the rumors swirling around Lincoln High? You're probably picturing Tyler's shifty eyes, wondering if he's a suspect or just another piece of this puzzle. This is the kind of suspense that makes YouTube stories go viral. Teen drama, hidden truths, and that sinking feeling that no one's who they seem. Let's throw another curveball into the mix, because this story is about to get wilder. Jake's not the only one sniffing around. Sarah, that quiet girl from the school office, keeps popping up like she's got a stake in this. Jake notices her lingering near the janitor's closet one day, her notebook clutched tight, and when she sees him, she bolts like she's been caught red-handed. Later, he overhears her talking to Marcus. Yeah, that Marcus, the senior who's always dropping cryptic hints in the parking lot. They're arguing, Voice is low, and Jake catches just enough to make his stomach twist. Something about keeping it quiet and not letting Harper find out. What's Sarah hiding? Is she working with Marcus to cover up whatever's going on with Mr. Ellis? Or is she digging for the same truth Jake is? Here's where it gets juicy. Sarah's got access to the school's records, and rumor has it she's been poking around in files she shouldn't. Could she have taken the yearbooks? Or is she an ally, someone who knows more than she's letting on but can't be trusted? You're hooked on this, aren't you? You're piecing together the clues. Tyler's warning, Sarah's shady behavior, Marcus's vague posts, and it's got you glued to the screen. Because this is the kind of trending drama that blows up YouTube's algorithm. Now, let's peel back a layer of Lincoln High's past, because there's a secret buried here that's starting to creep into the light. Years ago, before Jake was even a freshman, there was an incident at the school, something nobody talks about openly, but everybody knows. It involved a teacher, Mr. Grayson, who was a legend at Lincoln High, charismatic, inspiring, the kind of guy who made kids want to learn. But then, out of nowhere, he was gone. Some say he got into trouble, others say he left to pursue other opportunities, but the whispers point to a falling out with the administration, maybe even with Dr. Harper herself. Here's the kicker. Mr. Grayson was close to Mr. Ellis back then, back when Ellis was just a new janitor. Kids who've heard the story swear they saw them talking late at night, like they shared a bond nobody else understood. Jake hears this rumor from an older teammate, and it hits him like a ton of bricks. Could Mr. Ellis be connected to Grayson's disappearance? Is that why Dr. Harper's so protective of him? You're probably screaming at the screen, "Tell me more," but the trail's getting colder, and Jake's running into walls at every turn. The missing yearbooks, Tyler's warning, Sarah's secrecy. It's like the whole school's conspiring to keep him in the dark. You can feel the tension building, can't you? That itch to know what's really going on, to uncover the betrayal that's hiding just beneath the surface. And then, just when Jake thinks he's got nothing left to lose, something happens that flips the script entirely. He's sneaking around the school after hours, hoping to find something, anything, in the janitor's closet that might explain Mr. Ellis's deal. He's not expecting to find much, maybe a name, a photo, some clue to tie this all together. But as he's rummaging through a box of old maintenance logs, he hears footsteps. His heart's pounding, and before he can hide, a shadow falls across the doorway. It's not Mr. Ellis, not Dr. Harper, not even Sarah. It's someone he never expected, someone who shouldn't be there, holding a single piece of paper that looks like it could blow this whole mystery wide open. Jake's eyes lock on theirs, and in that moment, he knows he's stumbled onto something dangerous, something that could change everything he thought he knew about Lincoln High. You want to know who it is, don't you? You're practically begging for the reveal, but I'm not going to let you off that easy. This is the kind of cliffhanger that keeps you hitting next video on YouTube, the kind that makes you comment what happens next, because you're too invested to stop now. Stick with me, because this twist is just the beginning, and the truth about Mr. Ellis is closer, and more shocking, than you think. You're right there with Jake, aren't you? Heart racing, eyes wide, as he stands frozen in the dim light of the janitor's closet, staring at this unexpected figure clutching a piece of paper that could unravel everything. You can practically feel the air crackling with suspense, the kind of moment that makes YouTube drama videos go viral, trending with keywords like shocking twist and high school mystery. You're dying to know who's in that doorway, what's on that paper, and how it ties to Mr. Ellis's secret identity, but I'm not letting you off the hook just yet. This story is about to get messy, with a new thread weaving into the chaos that's going to make you question every motive, every clue, and every person Jake thought he could trust. We're diving deeper into the heart of Lincoln High, where the stakes are climbing, and a secondary storyline's about to explode onto the scene, complicating this mystery in ways you won't see coming. I'm talking straight to you because you're not just a viewer, you're in this with me, hooked on this roller coaster of teen drama and hidden truths, and I know you're not clicking away until we peel back the next layer together. The figure in the doorway steps forward, and Jake's breath catches. It's Mia, his ex-girlfriend, the one person he never expected to find sneaking around after hours. Mia's no stranger to Lincoln High's gossip mill. She's the artsy type, always sketching in her journal, always a little too perceptive for her own good. They broke up last spring, right before Jake started chasing clout with Marcus's crew, and things have been frosty ever since. So why's she here, holding a crumpled note that looks like it's been hidden for years? Jake's mind races, but before he can ask, Mia hisses, "You shouldn't be here, Jake. You're gonna ruin everything." Ruin what? Her words hit like a punch, and when she shoves the note into her pocket and bolts, Jake's left standing there, more confused than ever. He's barely processing this when he notices something on the floor, a torn scrap of the same paper Mia was holding, with just a few words scrawled in faded ink. Grayson knew too much. Grayson? As in Mr. Grayson, the teacher who vanished all those years ago? You're probably feeling that chill down your spine, the same one Jake's got, because this is the kind of plot twist that fuels YouTube's trending page. Secrets, betrayals, and a name from the past that's starting to haunt Lincoln High. Jake pockets the scrap, but now he's got a new problem. Mia's involved, and whatever she's hiding could either help him uncover Mr. Ellis's truth or drag him deeper into a mess he's not ready for. This is where things get wild, because Mia's not just a random cameo. She's the spark of a secondary storyline that's about to make this mystery 10 times more complicated. The next day, Jake can't shake the image of her in that closet, or the way her eyes darted like she was scared of more than just getting caught. He tracks her down at the art room, where she's hunched over her sketches, pretending nothing happened. Jake's not buying it, and when he confronts her about the note, Mia's reaction is anything but normal. She goes pale, her hands trembling, and whispers, "I got a message, Jake. Someone slid it under my locker door yesterday, telling me to stay quiet about Ellis or I'd regret it." A threat? Now you're really paying attention, because this isn't just about Jake's prank anymore. Someone's out there, pulling strings, making sure nobody digs too deep into Mr. Ellis's past. Mia won't show Jake the message, but she lets slip that it mentioned Grayson, too, and something about a promise made years ago. You're probably screaming at the screen. Who sent it? What's the promise? And I get it. That's the kind of suspense that keeps you glued to YouTube, searching for drama videos that deliver these heart-pounding moments. Jake's head is spinning because now he's not the only one chasing answers, and Mia's warning makes him wonder if he's being watched too. Is it Marcus, stirring up trouble for clout? Sarah, with her sneaky notebook? Or someone else entirely, someone who's been hiding in plain sight this whole time? Let's crank up the stakes, because this new thread with Mia's threat isn't the only thing throwing Jake off. Back at school, he decides to double down and check the security footage from the cafeteria prank, hoping it'll show something. Maybe Mr. Ellis's reaction, or a clue about why Dr. Harper's so protective of him. He sweet-talks his way into the security office, using his quarterback charm on the new guard. But here's the kicker. The footage from that day is corrupted. Not deleted, not missing, corrupted, like someone tampered with it just enough to make it useless. The guard shrugs, saying it's probably a glitch, but Jake's not stupid. This, on top of the missing yearbooks and Mia's cryptic note, feels like a pattern, like someone's erasing every trace of the truth. You're feeling that paranoia creeping in, aren't you? That sense that Lincoln High's hiding something big, something tied to Mr. Grayson's disappearance and Mr. Ellis's quiet presence. Jake's starting to question everyone's motives, Tyler's sudden distance, Sarah's shady behavior, Marcus's smug hints, and now Mia's secret message. Even Dr. Harper's starting to look suspicious, with that framed photo on her desk and her fierce defense of the janitor. You're probably wondering if she's protecting Ellis because of loyalty, guilt, or something darker. This is the kind of mystery that dominates YouTube's trending searches. High school scandals, hidden betrayals, and a web of lies that keeps you guessing. Here's where it gets even crazier, because the past is starting to bleed into the present in ways Jake never expected. He starts asking around about Mr. Grayson, digging into the old rumors, and one of the older custodians lets slip a bombshell. Grayson didn't just leave Lincoln High. He was forced out after a scandal nobody talks about. Something about missing funds from a school charity event, and whispers that Grayson took the fall for someone else. The custodian clams up when Jake presses for more, but the damage is done. Jake's mind is racing, connecting dots that don't quite fit. Grayson's scandal, Mr. Ellis's arrival, Dr. Harper's loyalty, and now Mia's threat. Could Ellis have been involved in whatever went down back then? Was he the one Grayson covered for, Or is he hiding something else entirely? You're hooked on this, I can tell, because this is the kind of drama that makes you hit that subscribe button, desperate for the next part. Jake's not just fighting for answers now. He's fighting against a growing sense that he's being played, that every clue he finds is leading him into a trap. Mia's warning keeps echoing in his head, and the scrap of paper in his pocket feels like a ticking time bomb. He's about to confront someone, anyone, to get the truth, but then his phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Stop digging, or you'll end up like Grayson. Your jaw's on the floor, isn't it? You're screaming for Jake to keep going, to figure out who's behind this, but this new threat changes everything, and it's got you glued to the screen, because the truth about Mr. Ellis is tangled in a lie so big, it might just destroy everyone involved. You're still here, aren't you? I can feel your pulse racing, just like Jake's, as that anonymous text lights up his phone screen. Stop digging, or you'll end up like Grayson. You're glued to this story, caught in the grip of a high school mystery that's spiraling into something darker, something that's got YouTube buzzing with trending keywords like shocking twist, teen drama, and hidden secrets. This isn't just about a prank gone wrong anymore. It's a full-blown conspiracy, and Jake's standing at the edge of a cliff, staring into an abyss he didn't even know existed. You're right there with him, feeling the weight of that threat, wondering who's watching, who's pulling the strings, and what really happened to Mr. Grayson all those years ago. I'm talking straight to you because you're not just watching a video, you're living this nightmare with Jake, and I know you're not clicking away when the stakes are this high. Things are about to take a turn that'll make your skin crawl, as Jake realizes he's not just chasing answers, he's running for his life, and the truth about Mr. Ellis is starting to feel like a trap that could swallow him whole. Let's dive into the darkness together, because this is the kind of suspense that keeps you up at night, scrolling for more. Jake's hands are shaking as he stares at the text, the words burning into his brain like a warning written in blood. He's alone in the school parking lot, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows that seem to twist and move in the corner of his eye. He's not the cocky quarterback anymore. He's a kid who's just realized he's in way over his head, and you can probably feel that pit in your stomach, that moment when you know you've crossed a line you can't uncross. His first thought is to call Tyler, his best friend, the one person who's always had his back, even if things have been weird lately. But when he dials, it goes straight to voicemail, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Tyler's phone is never off. He's the guy who's always texting, always reachable. Jake's paranoia kicks into overdrive, because this isn't just a dead battery, it's a red flag, especially after Tyler's cryptic warning to drop it. He tries Mia next, hoping she'll pick up, but her phone rings out, too, and now Jake's mind is racing with worst-case scenarios. Did something happen to them? Are they avoiding him? Or is someone making sure they stay silent? You're probably thinking about that note Mia found, the one telling her to keep quiet about Mr. Ellis, and wondering if the same person who sent Jake's text is tying up loose ends. This is the kind of drama that dominates YouTube's trending page. High school scandals, mysterious threats, and a creeping sense that no one's safe. Jake's starting to feel like he's being hunted, and the worst part? He doesn't even know why. The next morning, Jake's barely slept, his head pounding with questions and fear. He heads to school early, hoping to catch Tyler before first period, but what he finds instead makes his blood run cold. Tyler's locker, usually plastered with football stickers and doodles, has been trashed, books torn, photos ripped, and a single word scrawled across the door in black marker: silence. Jake's heart stops, because this isn't just vandalism. It's a message, a warning that echoes the text he got last night. He looks around, half expecting to see someone watching, but the halls are empty, the quiet almost suffocating. You can feel his panic, can't you? That moment when you realize the danger's not just a theory, it's real, and it's closing in. Jake's mind spirals, replaying every clue. The missing yearbooks, the corrupted security footage, Mia's note about Grayson, and now Tyler's locker. He's starting to see enemies everywhere: Marcus, with his smug hints and clout-chasing crew, Sarah, always lurking with that notebook, even Dr. Harper, whose fierce protection of Mr. Ellis feels more suspicious by the day. He's desperate to find Tyler, to make sure he's okay, but when he asks around, nobody's seen him since yesterday afternoon. You're probably screaming at the screen. Where's Tyler? Is he in danger? And I get it. That's the kind of suspense that makes you hit that like button because you're too invested to look away. Jake's not just chasing the truth about Mr. Ellis anymore. He's fighting to keep the people he cares about safe, and the fear is eating him alive. Let's dig into Jake's head for a moment, because this is where the emotional weight really hits. He's always been the guy who had it all: friends, popularity, a future in football, but now he's questioning everything. He keeps thinking about the cafeteria, that stupid moment when he laughed at Mr. Ellis's old shoes, and how it snowballed into this nightmare. He's not proud of it, you know. Deep down, he's ashamed, wondering if this is karma, if he's brought this danger on himself and everyone else. He's scared for Tyler, scared for Mia, and scared that he's next. Every creak in the hallway, every shadow that moves too fast makes him jump, and he's starting to notice things he didn't before, like how Mr. Ellis seems to be everywhere, always watching, always sweeping those same floors with a look that's too calm, too knowing. Jake's paranoia is creeping into every corner of his life, making him doubt even the people he's known forever. What if Tyler's not missing but hiding? What if Mia's playing him, using that note to throw him off? And what about that old scandal with Mr. Grayson? The whispers about missing charity funds and a cover-up are starting to feel like the key to everything, but every time Jake gets close, something, or someone, blocks his path. You're feeling that urgency, aren't you? That need to know who's behind this, what they're hiding, and why they're so desperate to keep Mr. Ellis's secret buried. This is the kind of story that fuels YouTube's algorithm. Emotional, unpredictable, and packed with enough drama to keep you commenting. What happens next? Just when Jake thinks it can't get worse, the mystery takes a darker twist that shakes him to his core. He's walking home after school, cutting through the park to clear his head, when he notices a car idling across the street. It's nondescript, a beat-up sedan, but it's been there too long, and the driver's face is hidden behind tinted windows. Jake's stomach twists because he's seen that car before, yesterday, outside the school, and the day before, near his house. He picks up his pace, his heart hammering, but the car starts moving, slow and deliberate, keeping just enough distance to make him doubt himself. Is he imagining it? Is this just his paranoia, or is someone really following him? He ducks into an alley, hoping to lose them, but when he checks his phone, there's another text from that unknown number. You were warned. No explanation, no details, just those 3 words that make his knees weak. You're practically yelling at the screen now, begging Jake to run, to tell someone, to do anything but keep digging. But Jake's not built that way. He's stubborn, and the fear's only making him more determined to find out what's going on. As he stumbles out of the alley, gasping for air, he sees something that stops him dead, a pair of old, scuffed-up shoes, just like Mr. Ellis's, lying in the middle of the path, with a single note tucked inside that reads, "You're next." Your mind's racing, isn't it? You're wondering if Mr. Ellis is the hunter or the prey, if Tyler's disappearance is tied to this, and who's close enough to Jake to know exactly where he'd be. This cliffhanger's got you hooked, and I'm not letting you go, because the truth about Lincoln High is darker than you ever imagined, and Jake's about to walk right into its jaws. You're still right there with Jake, aren't you? Your heart's pounding as he stands in that alley, staring at those old, scuffed-up shoes and the chilling note that says, "You're next." You can feel the fear crawling up his spine, the kind of raw panic that makes this high school mystery feel like a blockbuster thriller, blowing up YouTube with trending keywords like shocking plot twist, teen drama, and hidden secrets. You're hooked, desperate to know who's behind the threats, where Tyler's gone, and what Mr. Ellis has to do with it all. I'm talking straight to you because you're not just watching, you're neck deep in this conspiracy, and I know you're not clicking away when the story's about to flip everything you thought you knew upside down. Just when Jake thinks he's hit rock bottom, a bombshell drops that rewrites the entire mystery, making you question every clue, every motive, and every person in Lincoln High. This isn't just a prank gone wrong or a school scandal anymore. It's something bigger, something that's been hiding in plain sight, and you're going to be reeling when you see what's coming. Let's dive into this game-changing twist together, because this is the kind of suspense that keeps you glued to the screen, commenting, "No way," and begging for the next part. Jake's legs feel like jelly as he stumbles out of the alley, the note clutched in his sweaty hand, his mind screaming that he's in way over his head. He's ready to run, to the police, to Dr. Harper, to anyone who'll listen, but something stops him cold. His phone buzzes again, not with another threat, but with a voicemail from Tyler, time-stamped an hour ago. Relief floods through him, because Tyler's okay, he's alive, but when Jake plays the message, his blood turns to ice. Tyler's voice is low, shaky, like he's whispering in a hurry. Jake, it's not about Ellis. It's never been about Ellis. Meet me at the old bleachers tonight, and don't tell anyone. They're watching. The line cuts off, and Jake's world tilts. Not about Ellis? You're probably as floored as Jake is because everything, the prank, the missing yearbooks, Mia's note, the threats, has pointed to Mr. Ellis as the key to this mystery. But now Tyler's saying he's not? You're replaying every moment in your head, wondering what you missed, and that's exactly how Jake feels, standing there in the fading daylight, realizing the puzzle he's been trying to solve might be a lie. This is the kind of plot twist that sets YouTube ablaze, the kind that makes you scroll through trending drama videos, hungry for a story that keeps you guessing. Jake's gut tells him to trust Tyler, but after the trash locker and the anonymous texts, he's not sure who's friend or foe anymore. He heads to the old bleachers, but the whole way, he's looking over his shoulder, feeling like every shadow's hiding a threat. When Jake gets to the bleachers, the place is deserted, the rusted metal creaking in the evening breeze. Tyler's there, huddled in a hoodie, looking like he hasn't slept in days. Jake's ready to demand answers, but before he can speak, Tyler grabs his arm and pulls him into the shadows, his eyes wild with fear. What he says next flips the entire story on its head. Ellis is a decoy, Jake. The real secret's about Dr. Harper. She's the one Grayson was protecting when he took the fall for that charity scandal. And now she's covering for someone else, someone still at the school. You're probably gasping right now because Dr. Harper? The principal who's been the voice of reason, the one who called Jake out for the prank, the one who seemed so protective of Mr. Ellis? She's the center of this? Jake's mind is imploding because all this time, he's been chasing Mr. Ellis's past, thinking the janitor was the key, when Dr. Harper's been pulling the strings. Tyler says he overheard a conversation in the faculty lounge, Dr. Harper on the phone, talking about keeping the truth buried and mentioning Grayson's name. But here's the kicker. Tyler doesn't know who she's covering for, only that it's someone powerful, someone who's been watching Jake's every move since the cafeteria stunt. You're hooked, aren't you? This is the kind of drama that fuels YouTube's algorithm. Betrayals, cover-ups, and a twist that makes you question every clue you thought you had. This revelation changes everything, but it only raises more questions, and Jake's paranoia is through the roof. If Dr. Harper's the mastermind, why did she make such a big deal about defending Mr. Ellis? Was it to throw everyone off the scent? Or is Ellis still part of this somehow? And who's she protecting? Jake's mind flashes to Marcus, with his cryptic posts and shady vibe, but then there's Sarah, always lurking with that notebook, and even Mia, who's been acting cagey since she showed up in the janitor's closet. Tyler's story checks out, but there's something off about him. Too, he's jittery, keeps checking his phone, like he's expecting trouble. Jake's starting to wonder if Tyler's telling him everything, or if he's holding back to protect himself. The note in the alley, the trash locker, the car following him, it all feels connected. But now Jake's not sure if he's being hunted because of what he knows about Ellis or because he's getting too close to Dr. Harper's secret. You're probably screaming at the screen. Who's behind this? What's Harper hiding? And I love that you're this invested, because this is the kind of mystery that makes you hit that subscribe button, desperate for answers. Jake's emotions are a mess. Guilt for starting this with his stupid prank, fear for his safety, and a burning need to know the truth, even if it destroys him. He's not just a kid anymore. He's a detective in a game where the rules keep changing and every step feels like a trap. Just when Jake thinks he's got a handle on this new reality, another twist slams into him like a freight train. As he and Tyler are about to leave the bleachers, a flashlight beam cuts through the darkness and a voice calls out, not Dr. Harper, not Mr. Ellis, but Sarah, the quiet office girl who's been dodging Jake's radar. She's holding her notebook, her face pale but determined, and she says something that makes both boys freeze. I know who Harper's protecting, and if you keep digging, they'll make sure none of us walk away. Your jaw's on the floor, isn't it? Sarah, the wallflower who's been scribbling secrets, is suddenly at the heart of this. What does she know? And why is she choosing now to speak up? Is she trying to help, or is she playing a deeper game, luring Jake and Tyler into a trap? You're replaying every moment she's appeared, her argument with Marcus, her lurking near the janitor's closet, and wondering if she's the key to unraveling this, or the one who's been pulling the strings all along. This cliffhanger's got you hooked, because the truth about Lincoln High is slipping through Jake's fingers, and every answer he gets only drags him deeper into a conspiracy that's bigger, darker, and more dangerous than he ever imagined. You're still riding this wave with Jake, aren't you? Your heart's hammering as Sarah's words hang in the air under those creaky old bleachers, her flashlight casting shadows that make Tyler's face look like a ghost's. She knows who Dr. Harper's protecting, and her warning, that none of them will walk away if they keep digging, has you gripping the edge of your seat, caught in a high school conspiracy that's blowing up YouTube with trending keywords like shocking drama, teen mystery, and betrayal twist. You're dying to know what Sarah's hiding in that notebook, who's behind the threats, and how deep this web of lies at Lincoln High really goes. I'm talking straight to you, because you're not just a viewer. You're tangled in this mess with Jake, feeling every ounce of his fear and desperation, and I know you're not clicking away when the stakes are about to skyrocket. Jake's about to face choices that'll tear him apart, forcing him to weigh his safety, his friendships, and the truth about Mr. Ellis and Dr. Harper against a danger that's closing in fast. This is the kind of suspense that keeps you scrolling for more, commenting what's going to happen, because you're too invested to look away. Let's dive into the chaos, because Jake's world is about to crack wide open, and you're right there with him for every gut-wrenching moment. Sarah's standing there, her notebook clutched like a lifeline, her eyes darting between Jake and Tyler as if she's afraid they'll bolt, or worse, turn on her. Jake's mind is a whirlwind, trying to process her claim that she knows who Dr. Harper's protecting, and the way she said, "None of us walk away," makes his stomach churn with a fear he's never felt before. He's not just a kid chasing a mystery anymore. He's a target, and the trash locker, the anonymous texts, and that creepy car following him are proof that someone's willing to do anything to keep this secret buried. Sarah's voice trembles as she tells them she's been piecing things together for months, ever since she found an old letter in the school archives, a letter from Mr. Grayson, written the day he left Lincoln High, hinting at a debt he owed Dr. Harper and someone else still at the school. But before she can say more, her phone buzzes, and her face goes white. She shows them a text from the same unknown number that's been haunting Jake. Tell them, and Tyler pays the price. You're probably feeling that same jolt of dread Jake does, because Tyler's already been missing once, his locker vandalized, and now this threat's putting him square in the crosshairs. Jake's heart sinks, because Tyler's his best friend, the one who's been with him through everything, and the idea of him getting hurt because of Jake's obsession with the truth is like a knife to the chest. You're hooked on this, aren't you? This is the kind of teen drama that lights up YouTube's trending page. Emotional stakes, impossible choices, and a mystery that's spiraling out of control. Jake's staring at Tyler, who's shaking his head, muttering that they need to walk away, to pretend they never heard any of this. But Sarah's not backing down. She's scared, sure, but there's a fire in her eyes, like she's been carrying this secret too long and can't keep it in anymore. She says she'll tell them everything, but only if Jake promises to stop digging after this, to let the truth stay buried for everyone's sake. It's an ultimatum that hits Jake like a tidal wave. Keep pushing and risk Tyler's safety, maybe even his own, or walk away and live with the gnawing guilt of never knowing who Dr. Harper's protecting or why Mr. Ellis was set up as a decoy. You can feel the weight of it, can't you? That moment when you're forced to choose between what's right and what's safe, and either way, you lose something. Jake's mind flashes back to the cafeteria, to that stupid prank that started it all, and he's drowning in regret, wondering if his need to be the center of attention has doomed everyone he cares about. He thinks about Mia, who's been dodging him since the janitor's closet, and wonders if she's gotten a threat, too. He thinks about his parents, who have no idea their golden boy's tangled in a conspiracy that's starting to feel like a crime drama. You're probably screaming at the screen, begging Jake to make the right call. But what is the right call when every choice feels like a trap? This is the kind of story that keeps you glued to YouTube, searching for videos that deliver this kind of raw, emotional suspense. The tension's unbearable, and Jake's about to answer Sarah when another bombshell lands. Tyler, who's been quiet, suddenly snaps, his voice cracking as he admits he's known more than he let on. He says he saw Dr. Harper and Mr. Ellis arguing in the parking lot a week ago, right after the cafeteria prank, and overheard Ellis say, "You owe me, Harper. After all these years, you owe me." Jake's jaw drops, because this doesn't fit. Tyler said Ellis was a decoy, but now it sounds like he's got his own stake in this, like he's been playing a role nobody suspected. Tyler swears he didn't say anything earlier because he was scared, because he got a note slipped into his backpack that same day, warning him to stay out of it or his family would suffer. You're probably reeling as much as Jake is, because Tyler's been the one constant, the friend Jake thought he could trust, and now he's holding secrets, too. Is Tyler lying to cover his own tracks, or is he another pawn in this game? And what does Ellis mean? You owe me? Is he tied to Grayson's scandal, or is he playing Harper just like she's playing everyone else? Jake's head is spinning, his trust in Tyler fraying, and Sarah's ultimatum hanging over him like a guillotine. You're feeling that betrayal, that paranoia, because this is the kind of plot twist that makes YouTube videos go viral. Friends turning on friends, secrets piling up, and a mystery that's darker than you ever imagined. Just when Jake thinks he can't take any more, the situation explodes. Sarah's phone buzzes again, and this time it's not a text, it's a photo, grainy but unmistakable, of Mia sitting in what looks like the school basement, her hands tied, her face pale with fear. The message attached is simple: choose now or she's next. Jake's world collapses, because Mia's not just his ex. She's someone he still cares about, someone who got dragged into this because of him. Sarah's sobbing, saying she didn't know it would go this far, and Tyler's yelling that they need to go to the police, but Jake's frozen, torn between saving Mia and exposing the truth about Dr. Harper and whoever she's protecting. You're probably screaming at the screen, your heart breaking for Jake, because this isn't just a mystery anymore, it's a nightmare, and every choice he makes could cost someone's life. He's staring at that photo, his hands shaking, knowing that whatever he decides will change everything, and the worst part is, he's not even sure who's holding Mia or why. Is it Marcus, pulling strings for clout? Sarah, playing a double game with her notebook? Or someone else, someone who's been watching from the shadows, waiting for Jake to make the wrong move? You're hooked, because this cliffhanger's got you desperate for answers, and the truth about Lincoln High is slipping further away, buried under a pile of lies that's about to crush everyone involved. You're right there with Jake, aren't you? Your heart's in your throat as he stares at that horrifying photo of Mia, bound and terrified in the school basement, the anonymous text searing into his mind. Choose now or she's next. You can feel the walls closing in, the kind of gut-wrenching suspense that's got YouTube exploding with trending keywords like epic plot twist, high school conspiracy, and shocking betrayal. This isn't just a mystery anymore, it's a full-blown crisis, and Jake's standing at the edge of a truth so massive it could shatter everything he knows about Lincoln High. I'm talking straight to you because you're not just watching, you're living this chaos with Jake, feeling every pulse of fear, every sting of betrayal, and I know you're not clicking away when the story's racing toward its climax. The conspiracy is about to blow wide open, revealing a web of lies that stretches far beyond Jake, pulling in people he never suspected, and exposing a betrayal that'll leave you speechless. This is the kind of drama that dominates YouTube's trending page, the kind that makes you hit that subscribe button and beg for the next part, because Jake's not just fighting for answers, he's fighting for survival, and you're right there with him for every heart-stopping moment. Jake's hands are trembling as he stares at the photo, his mind racing to make sense of this nightmare. Sarah's sobbing, clutching her notebook like it's the only thing keeping her grounded, and Tyler's pacing, muttering that they need to call the cops. But Jake knows there's no time. Mia's life is on the line, and every second he hesitates could be her last. He's torn apart by Sarah's ultimatum. Stop digging to keep Tyler safe, or push forward and risk everyone he cares about. But that photo changes everything, because Mia's not just a loose end, she's a hostage, and whoever's behind this is playing for keeps. Jake's guilt is crushing him, because this all started with his stupid prank, his need to be the center of attention, and now it's spiraled into a conspiracy that's bigger than he ever imagined. He demands answers from Sarah, his voice raw with desperation, and she finally cracks, spilling a truth that makes his blood run cold. Her notebook isn't just random scribbles. It's a record of encrypted messages she's been intercepting from the school's internal email system, messages that point to a secret network operating right under Lincoln High's nose. Dr. Harper's not just covering for one person. She's part of a group, a shadow alliance of faculty and outsiders who've been using the school as a front for years, ever since Mr. Grayson's scandal. You're probably reeling as much as Jake is, because this isn't just about a janitor or a missing teacher anymore. It's a full-scale operation, and Mr. Ellis was never the key. He was a pawn, just like Jake. You're hooked on this, aren't you? This is the kind of teen drama that sets YouTube ablaze, packed with twists that make you question everything. The scale of it hits Jake like a freight train, but before he can process, Sarah drops another bombshell. Marcus, the clout-chasing senior who's been dropping cryptic hints, isn't just a troublemaker. He's been working with Dr. Harper, feeding her information about Jake's every move. Jake's stomach twists because Marcus was part of his new crew, someone he trusted, someone who laughed with him in the cafeteria when he mocked Mr. Ellis's shoes. The betrayal cuts deep, like a knife, through everything Jake thought he knew about loyalty. Sarah says Marcus has been hacking into students' phones, passing their messages to Harper, which explains the anonymous texts, the trash locker, the car following Jake. But here's the kicker. Marcus isn't the mastermind, he's a puppet, and Sarah's not sure who's pulling his strings, only that they're powerful enough to hold Mia hostage and silence anyone who gets too close. You're probably screaming at the screen, how deep does this go? Because this conspiracy's tentacles are everywhere, wrapping around the school, the town, maybe even beyond. Jake's mind flashes to every moment Marcus was there, hyping him up, pushing him to pull stunts, and he realizes it was all a setup to keep him distracted, to make him the perfect scapegoat. You're feeling that sting of betrayal, that rush of adrenaline, because this is the kind of plot twist that makes YouTube videos go viral, friends turning traitor, secrets unraveling, and a danger that's closing in fast. Jake's ready to storm the basement to save Mia, but Sarah grabs his arm, her voice shaking as she begs him to think. She says the basement's a trap, that the photo was sent to lure him there, where whoever's behind this can tie up loose ends for good. Tyler's nodding, his face pale, saying they need to run, to get out of town, but Jake's not listening. His guilt over Mia, his anger at Marcus, his need to end this are driving him now, pushing him toward a reckless decision. He's picturing Mia's terrified face, remembering their late-night talks before their breakup, and the thought of her suffering because of him is more than he can bear. You can feel his desperation, can't you? That moment when you do anything to fix your mistakes, even if it means walking into a lion's den. But then Sarah says something that stops him cold. They've got eyes everywhere, Jake. Even Mr. Ellis isn't what he seems. He's been reporting to Harper, but he's also been meeting someone else, someone outside the school. Jake's head spins, because Ellis, the quiet janitor he laughed at, isn't just a decoy, he's a double agent, playing both sides of this conspiracy. Is he protecting himself, or is he the one holding Mia? You're probably scrambling to piece it together, just like Jake, because every clue, Grayson's letter, the encrypted messages, Marcus's betrayal, points to a truth that's bigger than Lincoln High, maybe even tied to the charity scandal that started it all. This is the kind of drama that keeps you glued to YouTube, searching for stories that deliver this kind of raw, emotional intensity. The pressure's unbearable, and Jake's about to make a choice. Go to the basement and risk everything, or trust Sarah and Tyler and find another way, when the bleachers explode with noise. Flashlights cut through the darkness, and voices shout for them to freeze. It's not the police, not Dr. Harper, but a group of figures in dark jackets, their faces hidden, moving with a precision that screams they're not just school staff. Jake's heart stops as one of them steps forward, holding Mia's sketchbook, the one she's always carrying, and tosses it at his feet. "You thought you could outrun us?" the figure says, voice low and chilling. Sarah screams, Tyler bolts, and Jake's frozen, realizing the conspiracy isn't just a school secret. It's a machine, with roots so deep it's been watching him since the moment he laughed at those old shoes. "You're screaming at the screen, aren't you?" Begging Jake to run, to fight, to do something, because the danger's here, now, and it's bigger than he ever imagined. Who are these people? What do they want with Mia? And how does Mr. Ellis fit into this shadow network? You're hooked, because this climax is everything YouTube loves. Fast-paced, heart-pounding, and teetering on the edge of a revelation that could change everything if Jake can survive long enough to uncover it. You're still here, aren't you? Your heart's pounding as Jake stands frozen under the bleachers, surrounded by those shadowy figures in dark jackets, Mia's sketchbook at his feet, and the chilling words of their leader echoing in the night. "You thought you could outrun us?" This is it, the moment you've been waiting for, the climax of a high school conspiracy that's got YouTube buzzing with trending keywords like epic showdown, shocking reveal, and teen thriller. You're right there with Jake, feeling the sweat on his brow, the terror in his chest, as the truth about Mr. Ellis, Dr. Harper, and the secret network running Lincoln High comes crashing down. I'm talking straight to you, because you're not just a viewer. You're neck deep in this chaos, and I know you're not clicking away when every mystery is about to explode into focus. This is the kind of drama that dominates YouTube's trending page, the kind that makes you hit that like button and scream in the comments, because Jake's facing a final battle that's as much about his soul as it is about survival. The tension's unbearable, the stakes are life or death, and just when you think you've got it figured out, one last twist is going to flip everything you thought you knew. Let's dive into this heart-stopping showdown, because you're not ready for what's coming. Jake's eyes dart between the figures closing in, their faces still hidden, and he's fighting every instinct to run, because Mia's still out there, and Tyler's vanished into the darkness, leaving him and Sarah to face this nightmare alone. Sarah's clutching her notebook, tears streaming down her face, but there's a defiance in her stance, like she's ready to go down swinging. The leader steps closer, and Jake's breath catches as he recognizes the voice. It's not Marcus, not Dr. Harper, but Mr. Ellis himself, the janitor he mocked all those weeks ago. You're probably as shocked as Jake, because Ellis was supposed to be a pawn, a decoy, not the mastermind. But his eyes are cold, nothing like the quiet man who swept the halls, and when he speaks, his words cut like a blade. "You should have left it alone, kid. Grayson did, and he's still breathing." Jake's mind reels, because this means Ellis isn't just part of the conspiracy. He's running it, and Dr. Harper's loyalty, the missing yearbooks, the threats, were all to protect him. Sarah gasps, whispering about the encrypted messages she found, and Ellis laughs, a sound that sends chills down Jake's spine. He reveals the truth in a voice dripping with menace. The charity scandal years ago wasn't about missing funds. It was a cover for a smuggling ring, funneling money through Lincoln High, and Grayson took the fall to protect Ellis, who'd been his friend since childhood. Dr. Harper, bound by guilt and an old promise, kept the secret, turning the school into a fortress to shield Ellis's operation. You're hooked, aren't you? This is the kind of reveal that sets YouTube ablaze. Betrayals, cover-ups, and a janitor who's been playing everyone for years. The confrontation turns psychological, and Jake's fighting not just for his life, but for the pieces of himself he's lost along the way. Ellis taunts him, holding Mia's sketchbook like a trophy, saying he's been watching Jake since the prank, using Marcus to manipulate him, planting threats to keep him scared. Jake's guilt crashes over him. Every laugh in the cafeteria, every moment he chased clout, led to this, to Mia's capture, to Tyler's disappearance. He's shaking, but there's a fire in him, too, because he's not the same kid who mocked those old shoes. He demands to know where Mia is, and Ellis smirks, pointing to the school's basement, saying she's safe for now, but only if Jake agrees to take the fall for stirring up trouble, to be the new scapegoat like Grayson was. It's a devil's bargain, and you can feel Jake's torment, can't you? The choice to save Mia but lose everything, his reputation, his future, or fight and risk her life. Sarah's begging him to run, But Jake's done running. He lunges at Ellis, a desperate move born of rage and fear, and the other figures grab him, pinning him to the ground as Ellis looms over him, his old shoes inches from Jake's face. You're screaming at the screen, because this is the kind of climax that makes YouTube videos go viral, high stakes, emotional, and teetering on the edge of disaster. Jake's struggling, his mind racing for a way out, when Sarah does something reckless. She hurls her notebook into the air, pages scattering, screaming that the messages are already online, sent to every student in Lincoln High. The figures freeze, and Ellis's composure cracks, because Sarah's just blown his secret wide open. The chaos erupts, and it's a blur of motion and panic. Ellis barks orders, sending his men scrambling to contain the leak, and Jake seizes the moment, breaking free and sprinting toward the school, his only thought to find Mia. The basement's dark, the air thick with damp and fear, and he's calling her name, his voice hoarse, when he hears a muffled cry. He finds her, tied to a chair, her eyes wide with terror, and he's tearing at the ropes, whispering apologies, promising he'll get her out. But the sound of footsteps echoes behind him. Ellis, alone now, his face a mask of fury. This is it, the final face-off, and Jake's not backing down. He stands between Mia and Ellis, his fists clenched, ready to fight, but Ellis doesn't attack. Instead, he pulls a phone from his pocket, showing a live feed of Tyler, bound and gagged in a car somewhere, and says, "One wrong move and he's gone." Jake's heart stops, because this is worse than any physical blow. It's a checkmate, forcing him to choose between Mia's freedom and Tyler's life. You're probably clutching your chest, because this is the kind of drama that dominates YouTube's algorithm. Heart-pounding, soul-crushing, and so intense you can't look away. Jake's pleading, trying to reason with Ellis, but the janitor's eyes are empty, his voice calm as he says the operation's too big to fail, that people higher up will clean this mess, and Jake's just a kid who got in the way. The tension's unbearable, and you're begging for a way out, for Jake to find a loophole, when the last twist hits like a thunderbolt. A voice cuts through the darkness. Not Sarah, not Tyler, but Dr. Harper, stepping out of the shadows with a gun in her hand, aimed at Ellis. You're floored, because Harper was supposed to be Ellis's ally, the one protecting him all along. But her face is a storm of grief and rage, and she reveals the final piece of the puzzle. She's been playing Ellis, working with the authorities for months to dismantle his network, using Jake's chaos as a distraction to gather evidence. You're reeling because everything, the threats, the secrecy, was part of her plan to take Ellis down, but it went too far, and now Mia and Tyler are paying the price. Harper's voice cracks as she tells Ellis it's over, that the police are outside, but he laughs, saying the network's bigger than her, bigger than Lincoln High, and he's not going down alone. Jake's frozen, Mia's trembling behind him, and you're screaming at the screen, because this is the ultimate YouTube cliffhanger, Harper's betrayal, Ellis's defiance, and a standoff that could end in bloodshed. Ellis raises his phone, ready to give the order to harm Tyler, and Jake's world slows, his eyes locked on Harper's gun, knowing one move will decide everything. You're hooked, because this is the kind of epic showdown that makes you comment "no way" and wait desperately for the resolution, because the truth about Lincoln High is finally out, but the cost might be more than anyone can bear. You're still here, aren't you? Your heart's pounding as Jake stands frozen under the bleachers, surrounded by those shadowy figures in dark jackets, Mia's sketchbook at his feet, and the chilling words of their leader echoing in the night. You thought you could outrun us? This is it, the moment you've been waiting for, the climax of a high school conspiracy that's got YouTube buzzing with trending keywords like epic showdown, shocking reveal, and teen thriller. You're right there with Jake, feeling the sweat on his brow, the terror in his chest, as the truth about Mr. Ellis, Dr. Harper, and the secret network running Lincoln High comes crashing down. I'm talking straight to you, because you're not just a viewer. You're neck deep in this chaos, and I know you're not clicking away when every mystery is about to explode into focus. This is the kind of drama that dominates YouTube's trending page, the kind that makes you hit that like button and scream in the comments, because Jake's facing a final battle that's as much about his soul as it is about survival. The tension's unbearable, the The stakes are life or death, and just when you think you've got it figured out, one last twist is going to flip everything you thought you knew. Let's dive into this heart-stopping showdown, because you're not ready for what's coming. Jake's eyes dart between the figures closing in, their faces still hidden, and he's fighting every instinct to run, because Mia's still out there, and Tyler's vanished into the darkness, leaving him and Sarah to face this nightmare alone. Sarah's clutching her notebook, tears streaming down her face, but there's a defiance in her stance, like she's ready to go down swinging. The leader steps closer, and Jake's breath catches as he recognizes the voice. It's not Marcus, not Dr. Harper, but Mr. Ellis himself, the janitor he mocked all those weeks ago. You're probably as shocked as Jake, because Ellis was supposed to be a pawn, a decoy, not the mastermind. But his eyes are cold, nothing like the quiet man who swept the halls, and when he speaks, his words cut like a blade. You should have left it alone, kid. Grayson did, and he's still breathing. Jake's mind reels, because this means Ellis isn't just part of the conspiracy. He's running it, and Dr. Harper's loyalty, the missing yearbooks, the threats, were all to protect him. Sarah gasps, whispering about the encrypted messages she found, and Ellis laughs, a sound that sends chills down Jake's spine. He reveals the truth in a voice dripping with menace. The charity scandal years ago wasn't about missing funds. It was a cover for a smuggling ring, funneling money through Lincoln High, and Grayson took the fall to protect Ellis, who'd been his friend since childhood. Dr. Harper, bound by guilt and an old promise, kept the secret, turning the school into a fortress to shield Ellis's operation. You're hooked, aren't you? This is the kind of reveal that sets YouTube ablaze. Betrayals, cover-ups, and a janitor who's been playing everyone for years. The confrontation turns psychological, and Jake's fighting not just for his life, but for the pieces of himself he's lost along the way. Ellis taunts him, holding Mia's sketchbook like a trophy, saying he's been watching Jake since the prank, using Marcus to manipulate him, planting threats to keep him scared. Jake's guilt crashes over him. Every laugh in the cafeteria, every moment he chased clout, led to this, to Mia's capture, to Tyler's disappearance. He's shaking, but there's a fire in him, too, because he's not the same kid who mocked those old shoes. He demands to know where Mia is, and Ellis smirks, pointing to the school's basement, saying she's safe for now. But only if Jake agrees to take the fall for stirring up trouble, to be the new scapegoat like Grayson was. It's a devil's bargain, and you can feel Jake's torment, can't you? The choice to save Mia but lose everything, his reputation, his future, or fight and risk her life. Sarah's begging him to run, but Jake's done running. He lunges at Ellis, a desperate move born of rage and fear, and the other figures grab him, pinning him to the ground as Ellis looms over him, his old shoes inches from Jake's face. You're screaming at the screen, because this is the kind of climax that makes YouTube videos go viral, high stakes, emotional, and teetering on the edge of disaster. Jake's struggling, his mind racing for a way out, when Sarah does something reckless. She hurls her notebook into the air, pages scattering, screaming that the messages are already online, sent to every student in Lincoln High. The figures freeze, and Ellis's composure cracks, because Sarah's just blown his secret wide open. The chaos erupts, and it's a blur of motion and panic. Ellis barks orders, sending his men scrambling to contain the leak, and Jake seizes the moment, breaking free and sprinting toward the school, his only thought to find Mia. The basement's dark, the air thick with damp and fear, and he's calling her name, his voice hoarse, when he hears a muffled cry. He finds her, tied to a chair, her eyes wide with terror, and he's tearing at the ropes, whispering apologies, promising he'll get her out. But the sound of footsteps echoes behind him. Ellis, alone now, his face a mask of fury. This is it, the final face-off, and Jake's not backing down. He stands between Mia and Ellis, his fists clenched, ready to fight, but Ellis doesn't attack. Instead, he pulls a phone from his pocket, showing a live feed of Tyler, bound and gagged in a car somewhere, and says, "One wrong move, and he's gone." Jake's heart stops, because this is worse than any physical blow. It's a checkmate, forcing him to choose between Mia's freedom and Tyler's life. You're probably clutching your chest, because this is the kind of drama that dominates YouTube's algorithm. Heart-pounding, soul-crushing, and so intense you can't look away. Jake's pleading, trying to reason with Ellis, but the janitor's eyes are empty, his voice calm as he says the operation's too big to fail, that people higher up will clean this mess, and Jake's just a kid who got in the way. The tension's unbearable, and you're begging for a way out, for Jake to find a loophole when the last twist hits like a thunderbolt. A voice cuts through the darkness. Not Sarah, not Tyler, but Dr. Harper, stepping out of the shadows with a gun in her hand, aimed at Ellis. You're floored, because Harper was supposed to be Ellis's ally, the one protecting him all along. But her face is a storm of grief and rage, and she reveals the final piece of the puzzle. She's been playing Ellis, working with the authorities for months to dismantle his network, using Jake's chaos as a distraction to gather evidence. You're reeling because everything, the threats, the secrecy, was part of her plan to take Ellis down, but it went too far, and now Mia and Tyler are paying the price. Harper's voice cracks as she tells Ellis it's over, that the police are outside, but he laughs, saying the network's bigger than her, bigger than Lincoln High, and he's not going down alone. Jake's frozen, Mia's trembling behind him, and you're screaming at the screen, because this is the ultimate YouTube cliffhanger. Harper's betrayal, Ellis's defiance, and a standoff that could end in bloodshed. Ellis raises his phone, ready to give the order to harm Tyler, and Jake's world slows, his eyes locked on Harper's gun, knowing one move will decide everything. You're hooked, because this is the kind of epic showdown that makes you comment "no way" and wait desperately for the resolution, because the truth about Lincoln High is finally out, but the cost might be more than anyone can bear.